Picture this. You're at a track day. You're pushing hard through a sweeping left-hander, the engine screaming at red line, perfectly weighted steering telling you exactly what the front tires are doing. You're passing cars that cost twice as much. And then after the session, you fold into that same car, hop on the highway, and go grab a bite to eat. That car exists. It's the Honda Civic Type R, and it only costs $45,000. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. A Civic? Really? Stick with me, because I've spent a lot of time digging into the performance car world, reading long-term owner reviews, watching professional lap times, and studying where your dollar goes in this segment. And what I found was pretty clear. The Honda Civic Type R FL5 is not just a good car, it is a record-breaking daily drivable performance machine that flat out embarrasses its competition at its price point. Here's how I'm going to make that case. First, I'll show you that the performance car market is genuinely broken and frustrating for buyers. Then, I'll show you exactly how the FL5 solves every one of those problems. After that, we'll visualize what life with and without the right car actually looks like. And finally, I'll tell you exactly what you can do with this information. Let's start with the problems. If you've ever gone shopping for a performance car in the $30,000 to $45,000 range, you already know the frustration. Every car in that bracket asks you to make a trade-off. You can have reliability, but it's going to be boring. You can have excitement, but get ready to know your dealer's first name. You can have power, but the chassis is going to feel like it was tuned by someone who's never driven fast in their life. According to a 2023 car report from Car and Driver, buyers in the performance segment consistently report dissatisfaction with at least one of two things. Either the car isn't as fun as advertised, or it's in the shop more than expected. Rarely does a car nail both reliability and genuine driving engagement at this price. That's not an opinion. That's what the data says. And the ripple effects of making the wrong call here are real. We're talking about a car you're going to own for 5, 6, or 7 years. A car that depreciates thousands of dollars the moment you drive off the lot. If you pick the wrong one, you're not just disappointed on the weekends, you're stuck with it. You're going to eat repair bills, you're driving something that stopped exciting you by year 2. That matters. So what's the answer? One car keeps coming up. I want you to walk away from this speech believing one thing. The Honda Civic Type R, specifically the current FL5 generation, is the best value performance car you can buy right now. Let me show you why. The FL5 makes 315 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque out of a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It comes with a 6-speed manual transmission. And here's the thing. That's the only transmission available. Honda looked at the market, decided automatics were for someone else, and committed. That tells you everything about who this car is built for. But specs on paper don't mean anything without proof. So here's the proof. In 2023, the FL5 Civic Type R set the outright Nürburgring lap record for front-wheel drive production cars at 7 minutes and 44 seconds. That was verified by Motor Trend. The Nürburgring, for anyone who doesn't know, is a 13-mile racetrack in Germany that the entire automotive world uses as the definitive benchmark for how well a car actually handles. A $45,000 Honda set the record, not a Porsche, not a BMW, a Civic. And according to Edmunds' 2024 long-term road test, where they buy a car and live with it for a year, FL5 owners reported minimal mechanical issues and some of the highest satisfaction scores in the segment. That's Honda reliability behind a racetrack weapon. You don't have to choose. Now I know there are 2 objections I need to address, because they're the obvious ones. First, it's front-wheel drive. How is it that fast? Fair question. The FL5 uses a sophisticated torque vectoring limited slip differential at the front axle. What that means, in plain English, is the car can rotate perfectly through corners in a way that feels nothing like traditional front-wheel drive. The steering is weighted to the exact number. The front end grips and turns. The Nürburgring time isn't a fluke. It's physics working correctly. Second, it's almost $45,000. Isn't that expensive? Compared to what? The Volkswagen Golf R starts at the same price and has a dual clutch automatic. The Subaru WRX is cheaper but makes 65 fewer horsepower and has well-documented reliability concerns. In recent years, the fun European hot hatches, the ones people actually want, aren't even sold in the US. The FL5 is the only car doing all of this. At this price, and in the American market. Let me paint you a picture of what that actually means day to day. Imagine you buy the F05. You've got a car that makes you genuinely look forward to your commute on Monday morning. You hit a back road on a Saturday, and it's the best 15 minutes of your week. You can show up to a track day in a stock car and run faster than people with the modified versions of other cars. And 3 years later, you can check the resale value because the FK8, the previous Type R, held its value extremely well. And you realize you made a smart financial decision on top of everything else. Now flip it. Imagine you don't do the research. You grab a sporty trim of something mainstream because it looked good on the lot. 6 months later, it's fine. It's just fine. It doesn't make you feel anything. Or maybe you go the other direction. You buy something German because the badge felt right. And now you're on a first-name basis with a service advisor who charges you $200 an hour. Either way, you're locked in. You made the call, and now you live with it. And here's the urgency piece. The FK8, the previous generation Type R, sold for $10,000, $15,000, even $20,000 over sticker at dealerships because demand was that high. The F05 is moving the same direction. The window to buy one at MSRP will not be open forever. So here's what I'm asking you to do. You don't have to buy a car today, but here's what I want you to do. If you're in the market or know someone who is, go to a Honda dealership and ask for a test drive of the Civic Type R. Don't decide anything until you've driven it. Then go read the Edmunds long-term review, the car and driver comparisons, and the Motor Trend first drive. Let the journalism back up what you felt in the seat. And even if you're just looking and not thinking of buying a car anytime soon, I want you to walk out of this room with one belief adjusted. Front-wheel drive is not a limitation when the engineering is done right. Honda proved that. The F05 isn't a Civic that got lucky. It's a performance-built purpose machine that happens to wear a familiar badge. So let's bring it all home. The performance car market in the $30,000 to $45,000 range is full of compromises. Cars that are either fun or reliable, but rarely both. The F05 Civic Type R walks in and solves that equation with a Nürburgring record, Honda's proven reliability, a mandatory manual transmission, and a price tag that undercuts its close competitors. Life with the right performance car is genuinely better. Life with the wrong one is a slow drain on your wallet and your enthusiasm. And the F05 is available right now at a price that makes sense from a brand you can trust. There's a saying in the car world, you don't need more horsepower, you need the right horsepower. The Honda Civic Type R F05 is 315 horsepower in exactly the right package. Don't let the badge fool you. Don't let the price scare you. Drive what inspires you. Thank you.